So, today I'm going to discuss a topic which is very vital, and we don't really think so much about this one. I would say that, especially right now into the 21st century, as the time passes, as we become more of people that we're living on screens rather than in real life, we tend to avoid a lot of situations that they don't work for us. Like, for example, if something is harsh or something that kind of takes our point, something which makes us stiff or even to feel uncomfortable with some person that we might don't like necessarily, we most times typically we tend to avoid it or never even react back with this. So that's very interesting because the most times this is what we do, and this is what I've done when I was younger. Whenever a situation I didn't like, I just walked away and went back into my safe spot. But even though that this the world is going even more virtual every single day by minutes and by the time that we talk, the point is, well, can you really avoid it? Can you really avoid this? And my answer, which I came up, is not really. So I think the point is it's a way better strategy to go and think how actually to deal with the things that you don't like, how to deal with people that you don't necessarily respect or agree with on a lot of certain topics. What mindsets you can use to get away from these very negative thoughts, from these very disgusting ideas that you got about these people or these nasty emotions that they're coming up to you, and how even you can thrive into the situations and not only create a win-lose scenario, which is I'm going to take something from you and I'm going to destroy you. Instead, actually, to work with these people and to create something better and more beautiful for both of you. So, in other words, how from a perspective that you come from an enemy, that you might consider an enemy, how you can make him a friend and a good friend, a friend that you can trust. Because always trust a friend that actually has to prove something to you. This is something way more important. So let's talk about the people and about the title, how to deal with people that you don't necessarily respect or like so much. So I'm gonna break it down to three core steps, but I have added some bonus two ones. The first point, which is the mindset, which is the step zero, and the bonus point, which is something that hasn't been very much discussed about, which I'm going to discuss. This is something bonus from a very specific situation. So let's go to the zero point. And but before we go, let's analyze a bit the situation. I do like to analyze stuff and ideas and to have images of what is my story, and I want to see if you can people relate with any different way. So first of all, where we can find these ones, where we can find these scenarios, pretty much in all our every single day life. Maybe this can be university, this can be school from younger people, this could be a business environment, this could be something way different, like an event, in everyday life that we're meeting people, friends, and even in very specific ones for very specific people, like army, for example, which I have the chance to be into one of these ones for kind of months, because into my country that we have an obligatory service, so I cannot face it. So you meet up and you stay with a lot of people. You stay with people that you don't necessarily agree with in a lot of viewpoints, even if it's from religion, financial, political, mental, physical, spiritual, you name it. You name it. You have a lot of differences, but you need to live to survive with these people. You need to take some steps back, and they need to take some step back, but you need to be able to cross the line when someone does that. So I'm going to be talk about the situation there, that there are some situations in our lives that we cannot just simply ignore. So we need to take action and we need to deal with our problems. Let's say, for example, there is a person in our working environment, in the job that we have, in a big business perspective, in a big business climate. We cannot agree with this person. And every single day, imagine going up to your beautiful bed. You need to go early to work. You need to prepare yourself. You're not really enjoying your work. Imagine that you need to deal with this person. Imagine that you just need to interact with this person, not only to interact, but to make result. Because if you don't really make a result, your job is not going to be good quality, and then you can be fired. There's a lot of problems into this one. So practically, I'm going to break down what you can actually do to improve your not only your situation, but to improve everyone's situation, and showing as a hero into the end of the day. But this takes time. I'm not going to lie. This takes time to improve. You cannot just be a star into the next day. But I'm going to try to make it as specific as possible to do it as fast as possible. So let's get down into this. I'm starting with a step zero. When you have a problem with a specific person that cannot understand you, you cannot communicate, or it actually annoys you, try to express this one. Try to express this anger, this fear maybe that you have, even this guilt sometimes. Maybe you've done something wrong into the situation and you cannot agree with this. You don't want to expose your ego. This is a very psychological one. Like the most times we're terrible at expressing our thoughts and our feelings. Terrible, terrible. And the most people they haven't taught us. So there's first of all we need to understand that we are psychological beings and we need to face it. We need to express and we need to deal with our feelings. So first of all, this is some practices that we can actually do to improve this in a very vast way. Whenever problem you have, even if you're happy, actually this goes to, I suggest audit and journal. I'm journaling for 3.5 years right now, and it helped me massively into different ways. But into the way that we're going to explain how it helps me, journaling is to express exactly where are my thoughts that I don't like. What is the things that I don't like about this specific person, about this specific situation? Write it down. Write down exactly what you don't like. And there you can actually see the whole story. You're building up and you have it because the most times we just live our life with not being fully present and understand what's going on. But into this one, we fully be present to the moment. We fully understand what's going on. Or even if you don't like journal, you can audit. You can actually take some time. You can talk to yourself. Yes, some people they might seem that it's a weird thing, but I don't think so. I do it all the time. So take it to your step, to your safe space, and relax. Whatever you try to relax, ignore the phone for a second and just focus and see what was our today's day. How was it? Very simple questions, very simple stuff. And you're going to get a lot of valuable information out of this. So with this kind of stuff, what we try to do is that we try to see and to showcase where is our main problem. What is our main problem? And the most times it's not the person itself, or it's going to be something that we don't necessarily like about ourselves. The problem lies more with us, not with so much with other people. Because imagine if you were emotionally stable, you wouldn't really care about the situation of if some other one called you something. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't necessarily take it so seriously. You're just exposing your trauma. So what we try to do is that we want to take this fear that we have because a lot of times with these people we cannot act authentically, we cannot act naturally because we feel that, or we fear that something happen, or we fear that we might lose our job if we do something very insane, if we get angry, if we acted really stupid. And this is exactly for people that they are overthinkers too. That's a great choice. Analyze and break down the worst case scenario. So how we do this? By taking the worst case scenario. So for example, you're arguing with a person every single time, continuously. What's the worst case scenario could happen? Break it down. Maybe for example is that you get fired because a huge debate happened and the boss doesn't want you both to destroy the whole, let's say, culture of the place, or the comfort zone of everyone else. So he decides to fire you, or to other person too, whatever, but you get fired. That's the worst case scenario. Try to write it down, as we said with audit and journal. Try to write it down, the situation, and try to see how much realistic this will be. To be into this worst case scenario, how realistic will happen. So what you're trying to do with this idea is that you minimize it to yourself the fear of, hey, you know what, this worst case scenario might not actually happen. The most times the worst case scenarios they don't take place. It's very, very rare, first of all. And second, we try to demonetize fear and to make it weaker. And this is our goal because fear doesn't have logic behind it. Fear doesn't have esteem, a source of actual proof. It's something that we create. It's an illusion. It's a fantasy that we have make scenarios that they're not working with ourselves. But I don't blame you, I don't blame me, I don't blame us. This is our nature. This is how we work. This is works for our safety. Realizing why fear exists into this perception and why fear the most times could be an illusion. So the point is, for example, why am I not taking action to improve the situation that happens from my fear? What can I do? Realize that when you take action for this perspective, things are not getting so bad. Like if we face the fear, we feel that, you know what, this is going to be dead. We're going to be dead. We cannot survive out of this one. But guess what? The most times, this is just an illusion. And try to audit action. When was the last time that you take something that you were completely afraid and you said, hey, you know what? That was not even that bad. That was nothing. For example, going out to talk to strangers. I have done it quite some time. And every single time, the first thing that comes to my mind was, oh God, something will happen. But the most times, nothing happens. So it's again one of these scenarios to be able to talk and to take action. But I know I can hear you ask what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna take action, what's my next step. And here I have you. This is our second step. How we specifically take action. Well, first of all, what we're gonna say into this kind of scenario or this perspective. Well, there's a huge important thing which I'm addressing from the first moment. Try to be as authentic as possible all the time. Like I advise to the most people to have this as a policy, to be able to address the most problems or whatever situation you might deal with in your life as something that you're not changing. Authenticity. This is why people they like you. This is what's unique about you. This is the perspective that it makes you. That's why you're into this position because you are. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's a powerful point. Trying to be fake nice guy, for example, in that you don't want to harm someone with your comments or to, oh, they're going to take it with a different perspective or they will. It's stupid caring about others, which is not, by the way, it's fear. You're not simply caring so much. You care about losing your goodness or that you're going to do something bad because you're going to be punished. Realize this one. And second, be authentic. You have way more energy. You can stand up to your ground and you can say, you know what, that's my opinion. You're way more true and you don't have so many things to fear. And even ethically, if you see it behind, you'll realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe I've done these steps. The worst case scenario did happen, but at least ethically I'm fine, which very rarely is going to be happen. So people they want to see your authentic self, and you solve problems by being authentic. Never in once someone solved problems without being authentic. Even if they wanted to use lie or manipulation, they thought this authentically. They thought authentically what they want. And that's a very important thing. Try to be as authentic as possible. So that's why I've using this very simple phrase, start with the heart first. So start with how do you feel inside you? How do you feel about the situation, and what you will be able to say, or what you're willing to say naturally, in no filter. And remember, this is the second step. You try to take step by step these guides to filter out what do you feel. Imagine that you have as an exercise right now, in let's say towards you, you have the person, and you look in eye to eye and you say authentically what you believe. I believe that what you did is utterly crap. I don't want you to do this again any time. Otherwise, you're going to face the consequences. So this happened with me about a lot of different people that they actually don't like, and they went into my words. This is what I thought as first. I have it as a scenario that I'm going to swear a lot, and I'm putting a lot of nerves out of it, and put a lot of, let's say, emotional barrier courage inside me. Emotional, that's not the word I'm looking for. I'm very emotionally positive at this moment of time, and I'm trying to get away from this situation. I feel very emotionally charged. That's the word. I found it. Finally, I found the fucking word. So, after feeling very emotionally charged, you kind of sense that, you know what, I want to get out of this energy. And this is even very well with the part zero, as I said. But right now we want to be authentic. And this is the first part, but we don't really want to say that to this person, because that creates a problem. Being filtered into an environment that you actually depend on, I mean, that's a problem. You can see that you're going to be authentic and ethically right, and you're going to say, yes, I done it, but you actually might lose your job. If you go on being vulgar, you swear, you're going to lose your right. You're going to lose the things that the people there can understand that you have positive viewpoints and you have right into a situation, but you're going to lose. You're going to lose the fight. You're going to lose the diplomatic, let's say, exercise out of it. So what we need to do is to be more diplomats about this. In necessary terms, you're not going to say, you know what, you son of a bitch, I don't like you. No. You're going to address the problem. You're going to try to be more polite. So this is the basic diplomacy of showcasing that, am I willing to work with you, really, and to create a win-win scenario, really. So this is my kind of thing. I want to work with you, and I don't want to have any problems with you. But what the thing that actually you do, actually, I don't know if you noticed that, or if you really checked this, but actually it pains me. But you're not gonna only say that, you know what, the thing that you've done, I don't like it. Because maybe some people, they won't really care. But what you want to address it is that I understand that you want them to understand that these people, they don't have it easy as well. That you want to understand that these people, they're having problems too. You're not the only one who facing issues. Everyone around us facing issues too. And realize that you've done mistakes as well. And maybe I've done some mistakes too. You can say that. Maybe I've done some mistakes. I don't know where my mistakes, but let's discuss it. And then you open up a piece of place, let's say a stage, to hold up some common ideas and to have a discussion. So state your true opinions and your true objections. Show up your cards. Second, understand that that's not the nature of the person. And third, realize that nobody is perfect. And that leads us to the third part, which it kind of connects with the second, keeping your authenticity, realizing all these three stuff, and plus going into the next step, which is the final basic step, which is try to find common wins and showcasing as a mentality that, you know what, we want both to do our job, we want both to win, We want both to make this project, let's say. So let's see where we do agree. Find things that you have a common interest with. For example, maybe this could be the stupidest thing, as sports, as beliefs, as spirituality, health, whatever this might be, or even hunting, whatever this might be, or music too. It could be anything. Try to have this and to build for future relationships and offer a win-win scenario and make to the other person to understand why with me, when you have a win-win scenario, you're going to win, why I'm going to win, and why we're going to be both benefiting more than only from you to win and I to lose, or vice versa. I mean, vice versa is very easy to understand with the other person. So offer the person chances to see why it's better to cooperate, but not only from the place of ethics or from the place of being beloved human being. That it would be good if this person was spiritual, but not everyone is into this one. People, they are actually working with common goals and with the goals that they have set to. So understand and see what is their common priority that they want to gain out of this, and expose your common goal set, expose your ideas. So that's the case how you can go over. And I'm going to repeat. So step zero is to audit and journal. To audit yourself, what I can actually do, what steps I should take into my every single day life to see in the future, but to see now to the present moment. How do I feel? How is my situation? How is this ruining me? Into all my everyday life and try to expose some sensations. Try to put away all this heavy baggage that you have. And if you have a person that you trust, you can actually have a discussion about it and you can see their opinions. So the point is that you want to put out of all this negative energy, but not only that, but to see from the past what knowledge and information you can take in order to analyze into your situation. Then, afterwards, what we try to do is to detect our fear and to see why we do have fear. Because if we don't have fear, that wouldn't be a problem. We will solve it anyways. So there is a couple of fear, something, or maybe it's small or big. We need to realize that fear actually is there to protect us and not to harm us, and to expose this fear as an illusion that we got, to see the worst case scenario that can happen and to analyze the worst case scenario, to be able to say, you know what, that's maybe not so bad. And is it so realistic? Apparently not. So you're analyzing other smaller bad scenarios and to see where it happens and just try to expose the fear. And then understanding that the fear is an illusion, and we can take this thing forward and we can say, okay, we need to deal with this. That doesn't exist. I can be authentic with myself, especially when I'm overthinking. So then showing my true colors, but with a way. Showing my true colors, but with a strategy, not completely losing my right for the situation that I'm frustrated about, showcasing my perspective with a nice way, with a diplomatic way, I would say, but actually trying to find where's the problem into the other side. Maybe I have done something wrong. Maybe I'm not that perfect as I think I am. So that's the perspective which I'm showing. And then afterwards, find a common one, find a common goal and create a win-win scenario. I cannot even talk sometimes English, but that's not a problem. I think you kind of get the point. And the thing is, by getting a win-win scenario, you create a lot of more chances of winning, not only into the specific situation, but you can actually have a person to be an ally to you in the future. How great this is. This, I know that it's very simple to say in simple words, but this could take time to develop. This could take time to be actually reality. But that's why I'm breaking down something away, a problem that is so vague to people that they cannot understand, breaking down to small pieces and steps on what you can do. And it's not step, I need to do step zero, step one. It's thinking patterns to unlock your brain and to actually start thinking. This is what we try to do. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want to take a step back from the basic idea on how other people think, and and especially when they react completely emotionally, to understand that emotions, they're important. However, strategy is important too. Showcasing these two arts into one scale, how to actually make an impact in our every single day lives. This is what it makes us different, and this is actually what it makes us better from not other people, but improve our lives. And not only into our specific issues, but in overall ways. And I'm going from the bonus right now, because when you reach to this part of the video, you really know what's going on. And this bonus video is specifically how to deal with people that they're higher up in you in the scale, especially in business. And that's my story in army too, because in army hierarchy is very important. And even this can be taken on in life too. Because some people, they can actually have higher status when you need them. So how do you interact with these people? First of all, destroy the idea that these people, they are something more than you. No, they're not. They are the same as you. They're not better than you, but they're not worse than you. All right? Never, never, ever forget this. Never, never. They shit the same way as you shit. They drink the same way as you drink water. They're eating the same stuff the most times. They're going to bed. They do need sleep. They are going to pee. They are humans. Nothing so amazing. Nothing so special. And I'm stating to this specifically to people that they are overthinkers. Again, as I said, and people who are very afraid of them, that maybe they will gonna manipulate them, or they're going to completely take them out if they do something wrong, which that's not the case. So be able to see them eye to eye when it happens, and not to lose your negotiational power and your energy to be sucked out of them. That's a very important topic. Then be able, and that's very important too, whatever they say, because they do have this so-called and called power, and maybe you cannot answer back as, let's say, an individual outside, or to be able to say, you know what, you did something wrong, fuck off. Maybe don't have this right, and you're not in the position to do that, but you have other things to do, which maybe sometimes they're way more powerful. So if, let's say, for example, a higher up calls you names, calls you stupid, calls you dumb, completely puts you down for your skills to the other people, and they showing you with their little fingers, haha, you silly. What you can actually do is to embrace this. That sounds counterintuitive, but actually embrace these bad words and showcase them that you're not emotionally active with this. Be completely emotionally and unattached to them. I found the word finally. Be completely emotionally unattached. All right? It's tough to be with the first time, but have this in mind. By being completely emotionally unattached, and this creates your superpower, which kind of addresses the point that what you can say, they don't really hurt me so much. And instead, it's not only they don't hurt me because I value myself as who I am, and I understand myself, my true value, and your own words and your own comments, they don't have anything to do with me, because if you even think it practically, how does another person, how much information does know about you? Zero to none the most times. Even your best friend, how much percent do you think that they know about you? Not enough. You are the one who knows 100% who you are. And maybe that's not even the case, because we don't know a lot of things about ourselves. Like, for example, I don't know if I like something which I've never done. So still we don't know even ourselves. But the most percentages that we're going to know, or the most chances that we have, is that we do know. And there's hiding the secret of holding a strong emotional background, understanding that other people, they cannot really harm you because you understand and you realize what you stand for. But this requires training, as I said. But how you can practice this? You can actually use this chance and you can start practicing it today when someone uses that to you. And by understanding that what you've done, the mistake, quote unquote, or the action that you've done that they're taking fun of you, to actually embrace it. And this is a very basic comic plus stand-up comedy idea. Strips away a lot of their power. Being able to showcase first your weakness, they cannot laugh at you. You're using comedy against them. And this is a very foolish idea to act like a fool, but it goes way deeper. Action goes way deeper. You understand the situation that when you use comedy, other people understand that you have an emotional IQ, that you can actually understand the situation, you have social power, and you're not stripping and you're not losing away your own power. You're taking the fact that you've done something wrong, because you might do, but when you laugh at yourself, everyone has someone to laugh, you. So that you take them in this unconscious way with them. So they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna they're going to stop. They're not gonna start new games. If they know how you react, that you don't give a damn about this, and instead you laugh at your own self, this shows a lot of emotional courage, a lot of emotional stability, and you show that you cannot be easily picked up. That's too powerful. And especially this goes specifically to people when you cannot convince with words, or you don't have the same hierarchy. Maybe they will just, when you want to talk, they're just gonna strip away. No, go. I don't want to listen something from you. But with this way, unconsciously, you show them that, you know what? You cannot affect me. Your own strength becomes a weakness because I know how to use it. It's like an Aikido idea. It's like how you deflect someone's attack with your own defense mechanisms, and you make his attack his own weakness. So that's my topic about this. These are my thoughts. And I would really like whoever these people see this video to tell me their opinions about the topic, and tell me, what are you thinking? Do you agree with my topics? What are you gonna add up? And why not share your own story? And if you relate with this one. And so that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts and my ideas about this topic. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.